Guys! From ancient scrolls to your modern notebook, discover the incredible journey of paper through time. Welcome to the storytelling series of the Wonders. Here we will dive deep into the simplest yet powerful inventions. These inventions steer our lives, back from the ancient era to the modern times. Are you ready? Alright, let's dive into our first story. The story of paper. Yes, the paper we use every day for every little thing from writing a simple note to the journals and so on. Let's go back to the oldest scrolls of pharaohs to the receipts in your wallet. Paper has recorded revolutions, carried empires, and captured our thoughts for over 2,000 years. This is the story of how one of humanity's simplest inventions became one of the most powerful tools in civilization. Our story begins around 3,000 years before the Common Era along the fertile banks of the Nile River. The Egyptians, innovators of many firsts, sliced the stalks of the papyrus plant, layered the strips, pressed them, and dried them, creating the world's earliest known form of writing material, papyrus. For example, the Book of the Dead, a funerary text, was preserved on papyrus scrolls over 20 feet long. Temple archives in Thebes used papyrus to store tax records and harvest logs. But papyrus was delicate. It tore easily, decayed in moisture, and could not be produced outside the Nile Delta, limiting its global spread. In the ancient times, Nile River Valley was the cradle of ancient Egyptian civilization. Along its banks grew the cyperus papyrus plant, a tall aquatic reed that thrived in the river's shallow waters. This plant was not only abundant but incredibly versatile, used for everything from boat making to mats, ropes, sandals, and most notably, writing sheets. First the workers would cut the papyrus stems that at time could grow from 10 to 15 feet tall. Then the outer green rind was peeled away to reveal the white inner pith. Ancient Greeks and Romans quickly adopted papyrus. The pith was then sliced into thin horizontal strips. Extremely sharp knives or stones were used. Then these sliced strips were soaked in water to soften them and remove excess sugar and starch, a process both unique and time-consuming. Once ready, these soaked strips were laid side by side vertically to form the base layer. Then a second layer was laid on top horizontally, perpendicular to the first. Once done, this crisscross pattern was then pressed underweight using stones and heavy wooden blocks. By the time the sheets were completely pressed, these sheets would soak under the sun, and when the surface of these sheets becomes smoothed with pumice stones or shells, making it ready for ink application. Individual sheets were then glued from end to end to these sheets sometimes reach the height of 25 to 30 feet in length. Once ready, these scrolls were rolled and stored in cylindrical containers, keeping them secure. These sheets were initially used to record the taxes structures, censuses, and the grain distribution throughout the year. Important documents such as the Book of Dead, along with the literary work such as stories, poetry, and the medical and scientific recordings were also undertaken. In social side, these sheets were used to records, marriages, legal documents, and trade agreement. The Rhine mathematical papyrus, c. 1650 BCE, reveals detailed knowledge of arithmetic and geometry. The Ebers papyrus, c. 1550 BCE, is a massive scroll containing over 700 medicinal recipes and treatments. Many of these ancient documents have survived thanks to Egypt's dry climate, which preserved the delicate material. Papyrus was a revolutionary material that gave rise to written history. It allowed the ancient Egyptians to administrate, educate, and immortalize their civilization. It bridged the gap from oral storytelling to recorded knowledge, laying the foundation for all the books, records, and scrolls that followed. The evolution of writing material in ancient Pergamon. In the 2nd century BCE, the city of Pergamon, which we now know as Turkey, turned into a flourishing center of learning, rivaling the famous Library of Alexandria in Egypt. The legend is that the Egyptian pharaoh Ptolemy V became alarmed by Pergamon's growing intellectual reputation and banned the export of papyrus. an effort to preserve Alexandria's superiority. This embargo transformed the imagination and thought process of the Pergamene scholars and artisans to innovate. They created a new, durable writing surface made from animal skins, which was the next gem. Parchment is a specially prepared material made from the skins of sheep, goats, or other animals. The word parchment comes from Pergamenum, named after the city of its refined use. Now the process to getting these skin hides was pretty intense and time-consuming. First of all, these hides were cleaned and soaked in lime solution to loosen hair. Once the skin was free of hairs, these were stretched over a frame, and then the process of scrapping would take place with a crescent-shaped sharp knife called a lunellum. Then comes the next process in which to dry and stretch these skin hides to get a plain and flat surface to make it easier to use. Next comes the sanding and polishing of these hides, the last and final step using pumice or chalk, which were ideal to smooth the surface and get it ready to absorb ink. The vellum, however, was introduced to bring a more luxurious version of parchment made from the young calf skin. Vellum is Latin for vitulinum, meaning made from calf. Vitulinum was smoother and more uniform, and was highly prized for sacred manuscripts, royal decrees, and illuminated texts. Some of the historic use of vellum were the Codex Vaticanus and Codex Sinaiticus around 4th century, two of the oldest known full Bibles. These were written on vellum. Also, the Magna Carta, 1215, was originally drafted on vellum. During this time, many medieval illuminated manuscripts used vellum for its ability to hold pigments and gold leaf. The next segment in the process, called the codex, a real game changer. The parchment's flexibility enabled the creation of the codex, the book form which is used today. The main and the striking feature of the codex, unlike scrolls, codices could be opened flat. Written on both sides was possible and easier. It could be indexed, and with the convenience of transportation. The transition from scroll to codex brought the new phase which revolutionized the accessibility and storage of human knowledge into the paper form to carry for generations to come. Then comes the medieval manuscript boom. Periodically from 4th century to 15th century, the monastic scribes across Europe used parchment and vellum for the purpose of recording the religious texts, such as Bible and Quran. The scientific works were recorded from ancient Greek to Roman and the Arabic sources. It was also used to capture the literature and law. During this process, a single medieval Bible used over 200 portions of animal skins, and it would take sometime months or maybe years to complete the whole process.